Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokanaman at YouTube with another model video. 2019 I bought my own home, shortly followed by the 2020 lockdowns, converted my front carport into a hobby shop and studio for the channel, all documented on a video that was pretty popular. Business activities and the channel were doing pretty well upon opening in 2021. I did the best with the resources I had on hand, ran out of money and time, and put up with some compromises from what I originally envisioned the space to look like. Full-time work was a major factor, sometimes demanding more time than originally contracted to, and after a fast-paced lifestyle and a few events, everything got very run-down, cluttered, and not enough storage to put things on walls and allowed it to build up on the floor. Also buying an enormous amount of stock that's impacted in my living quarters. With the viewership decline of the channel, mounting personal issues, work obligations, content creating, events, and 1 to 2 days a week running the shop, this all had a major mental health toll on me as my space deteriorated. Putting my foot down and with a lot of pre-planning and organising with various parties, I managed to cut 2 weeks of annual leave and isolate myself from family and friendship circles in that time frame. Shop closed, no video making, no model making. Me, a plan, a task at hand, also a solid 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day, which is completely alien. Catching up on some anime. The happiest I've been since the pandemic. The jobs include rebuild the shop shelves. These are deep gondola retail shelves, which I want shallow, more layers and across the entire wall shelves from the old Animasia anime hobby shop. Build a paint rack, clean the benches down, reset up my computer living room as a stock overflow room, sort out all my stock and reset up and dress up the shop ready for selling. With the deep gondola shelves, I had way too much stock stacked on top of each other and too deep that could not be efficiently browsed by customers or see the box art and prices. If items for sale are not visually appealing, this will overwhelm most casual customers and will drive them away, except for the odd keen collectors who are very happy to dig. The shelves only stretched partway across the wall, leading to a large pile of stock and rubbish. This all stemmed as I didn't have the parts to build these original Animasia shelves, as I was lacking the racks that attached to the brick wall, and I had to purchase specialized mason drill bits and screws to be able to safely attach the brick without breaking and taking a load bearing. So I temporarily used the gondolas. This was the big centerpiece of the refit. Also had some household maintenance and cleaning to do a bit in the backyard. Plumbing job of replacing taps, fittings, washers and redoing the shower. Made a run to Bunnings, an Australian hardware outlet. Purchased some goods and additional wood to extend the last 1/4 meter of the shelves. These beautiful powder coated shelves were custom made for Animasia when they moved into the QV building around 2015-16. The original owner Dante has spent an enormous amount of money on them, but they're no good anywhere else besides the site. Upon closing in 2018-19, I stored them outside for 3 to 4 years, and I'm very glad that these beautiful shelves did not rust or deteriorate. A testament to good workmanship and way too much lore on retail shelves, which I do love the appeal of and takes me back to when I used to work in retail outlets and some of the hobby shops I've helped out. The deep gondola shelves, the ones I'm relocating to the back room and used for a few years, were found very cheap and the parts selected to put together in a way that I like. Almost a week in, half the shop is done and already replacing stock. It was a second-hand retail fittings clearance business. Helping to close, buy out and liquidate a few businesses, I've learned a lot of these fittings are useless when used and an absolute fortune when brand new. Per meter stretch it cost me about $200 and they actually quite look stunning in a house setting where if you want to display collectibles, bookshelves, DVDs or anything. I'd like to have even more in the future in my personal space. On a note being second hand, they're heavy steel and powder coated. I cannot tell that they've been worn or or any sort of damage whatsoever. The installation disassembly is very straightforward. I remember doing it as a kid in my part-time job during school. The large bread rack that I used to store all of my parts and build kits came from my mother's business from the 90s. She had a pop culture business, a health pet food business, and a gardening horticultural supply outlet. I'm glad to have a bit of a legacy represented in mine. The tubs to the right are storage bins for my regular club members and customers. They sometimes clutter the bench. Now, this treasure is a very large Mr. Hobby paint rack from the business Hobby HQ, which has recently closed its doors. They used to be a major wholesaler of Tamiya, Revel, AMT and other brands, and supply me with second-hand and defective goods to sell very cheap for people scratch building and enjoyers of unusual and vintage subjects. Old ward tape was removed from the sandwich board, cleaned up and rewrapped. Also got some neat heat transfers to add to this motorcycle jacket. More artwork and branded clothing on its way. Back to the paint rack. Shout out to Willy Wong. Please enjoy your retirement. Thank you for your help. No intention in stocking paint now. Got some old stuff to clear. Maybe in future, but at the moment it's perfect for holding 3D printed miniatures. For all the rubbish removed off the floor, did a final sweep. Turn on the lights and let's have a look at our handiwork. Running through a mock browse as if we're a customer looking around. At a quick glance, it still looks like some shady guy's garage. Besides 3D printed samples and a diorama of Shio-chan in front of the salt mines, the bench is pretty clean. Stock will no longer be sold and stored there. The display cabinet is still good. It is slower moving items, but it's visually attractive for people to have a look at. Mostly military medals, hats, anime figures, bits and pieces, DVDs. The shelves this time are sorted in genres much like a proper hobby shop with most to least popular. Each section has Gunpla, military, anime figures, which I'm still way overstocked in and want to cut down. Garage kits and soft vinyl kits, which I've got a ton of, but don't mind cycling through for a long time. Weird bits and bobs. Parts bin is also sorted in different collection of parts and complete kits. The cabinet of finished works, which are all for sale, and they occasionally move, but again, it's more for customers to look at. Our wonderful paint rack with all the 3D printed miniatures and paints to clear. I'll be slowly filling that up in the future. Far more easier to browse miniatures. The rates of the 3D printer, plus a good part of week to involve me going to school and getting my motorcycle license. A lot of people also ask how I acquire my stock, and it is a mixture of secondhand items customers bring in to trade or sell to me from their collections, or people estates or losing interest, buying dead stock from businesses that turn over very quickly that do not want to carry some items or that they're a little damaged or undesirable. The bottom shelves are incomplete, missing parts or damaged goods, very, very cheap. Yahoo Auction Japan lots and AliExpress tools, which are bought in bulk, and I'm able to sell it for the same price as an individual tool plus shipping. The grand opening was a massive success, with regulars and new guys enjoying the space to freely build and browse. And the back room is absolutely the best hangout spot, with boxes sorted to go straight for events without any pre-packing. Finally, I can sit down, enjoy a drink. Still not 100%, and I would like to do a bit more. It's not my perfect envision, but there's always going to be another working bee in the future. But for now, I'm energized, absolutely excited for the hobby and returning back to my builds, and it's an absolute joy to be in the store. The Salt Mine Hobby Shop is located in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Australia. For more information on opening times, activities, stock and services, you're able to access that on Google and Google Maps, plus Facebook Salt Mine Hobby Shop page. This concludes my second setup video on this space. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Thumbs up and comments are always much appreciated. Happy to answer any questions. Check out the description section for links to other social medias, content and references. And we'll catch you guys next time. See you later.